All right, sharing this because I thought it was funny and because it's an excuse to play one of the most viral videos of all time that works every time. 60% of the time it works every time. No, it always works. It seems to go viral every time it is presented out there, and that is the Kelsey Plum guarding Caitlin Clark in the WNBA All-Star Game video. You know this one, right? As you can see, and face guarding her. Clark comes and gets the ball, gives it to Boston. Plum's still there. Clark fights through. Plum gets lost on the switch there, and then Clark hits Boston and gets the assist and is pumped up about it. And you remember the WNBA All-Star Game was the most viewed game of the WNBA season last year. You know, there were a lot of ratings records set and everything, but that was the most viewed broadcast. And that clip, in some way, shape, or form, continues to pop up online. And every single time it does, it gets traction, including when it's basically being used as a meme, which was the case with Correlation here. Shouts to Correlation for using that same video right here. We can watch it again because never really get tired of it. And Clark's like, what are you doing? Come on. And Kelsey's, committed to the cause. Same thing. Same angle. I guess I just showed the same video, but it just came from the tweet. And I have no problem replaying it, considering obviously people enjoy it. Every time it goes up online, it gets all sorts of views and everything like that. But in this particular context, it was used, and it said, the tweet said from Correlation, why you pressing, why you botting? Well, what was the context behind that? Apparently, there was something called a Muse Madness that went on from various fan accounts, or Muse accounts as they're called online, where they competed in a tournament to see who would emerge as the greatest Muse account. Caitlin Clark's Muse actually won it. But there was apparently a heated, I did not follow this closely, I'm sorry, because didn't really care. But it does go to show you how popular Caitlin Clark is. Apparently, the Caitlin Clark Muse wins this because the Steph Curry Muse got a lot of votes at the end, and there were bot allegations, which the Curry Muse denies. But nonetheless, the Stat Muse account weighed in and gave the victory to the Caitlin Clark Muse account. So congratulations to all the CCFC and the Caitlin Clark fans out there. But that was the context in which the video was shared, essentially as a meme, right? And that's what it's become. But if you're Kelsey Plum, and basically on any given day, you might be scrolling across your timeline, and you come across this video. I mean, that could realistically happen on any given day. And apparently this was the day that put it over the top for Kelsey Plum, who replied to the Correlation tweet with this message. Dog, could have been CC, could have been my grandma. Coaches made me pick up full court and deny the ball back. I tried. By the way, if you watch the Olympics World Championships, when you play Team USA, this is the style. K, leave me alone. Bye. He's probably sick of seeing it all the time. Now, I'll dispute a few things with, first of all, let me say, I love that Kelsey Plum played Caitlin Clark that way. I love the extra competitive. One of the reasons that All-Star game was so special was because it was played with the spirit of a real game. And of course, it also had the built-in storyline, right? Because one of the biggest storylines and controversies of recent times, really, from a pure sports perspective, was Caitlin Clark not being on the Olympic team. And then Caitlin Clark led the WNBA All-Stars against the Olympic team. So that had people invested, that had people caring about the game. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were on the same team for the first time in that sort of sense, which was great. And other people, Rike Ogunbowale had that big game. But, as far as Kelsey Plum's post, I would reckon it might not have been the same if it were another player other than Caitlin Clark. She can say it would have been anybody. I can't prove it, but I suspect there might have been a little extra sauce for Clark, which is okay, which is cool, which is great. And then, well, on top of that, when she said the thing about this is how Team USA and the Olympians are guarded in the Olympics, that's almost making the point, right? You got to go extra hard against a superstar like that. But nonetheless, that's the kind of stuff I love to see, regardless of the context, regardless of how hard Kelsey Plum was picking up or not, or whether Kelsey Plum would have, had the same fervor if she were guarding, somebody else in the backcourt there. If she were guarding, Diamond DeShields or anyone else in the backcourt there, regardless of whether that's the case or not, that is the great competitive spirit. That is a beautiful part of sports. It just so happens that that clip is going to live forever. And it's become something beyond a clip from an all-star game where it is now, a meme where it can be used to communicate something else, because the post was not intended to be a shot at Kelsey Plum or to make fun of Kelsey Plum. It was about being pressed about the situation. But I can understand Kelsey Plum, who hopefully isn't chronically online or chronically, seeing that in a negative light, has come across it enough where this just happened to be another time. And how far removed are we from the WNBA All-Star Game where she's seeing that now and she's got to be like, come on, bro. Like, how many times am I going to come across this on my timeline? Nonetheless, I think I summed it up pretty appropriately. I found it funny. I found it amusing, I guess you would say, considering whatever went on with the stat muse accounts. But then again, like, bot scandal or not, Caitlin Clark Muse defeats Steph Curry Muse to become the top muse amongst muses. That's got to be music to Caitlin Clark fans' ears. And further proof of, the star power that she does indeed have. And that we've gone around and around about that. And we just need WNBA basketball back. We need these ladies back on the court, so for some good old fashioned competition, so we don't have to keep reliving moments of the past. But that is a moment that will live forever, no matter how Kelsey Plum feels about it or how she clarifies it. It's on film. It ain't going nowhere.